All right. Let's see who is here. Hopefully everybody had a decent lunch. All right, David Cuellar.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here.
All right, we are here for your client. Have you had a chance to confer with the state?
I have not. That's what I'd like to confer with them first.
All right, we will make that happen. And it's criminal trial division.
Okay.
I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Yeah.
And for prosecutors, it's on page 13. And Rebecca, do we have any more of an update on Aaron Pouncey and what's happening out of New Orleans?
No further update than what I gave you earlier.
Okay. And Frankie, have you had a chance to talk to your client about the cases that are out of New Orleans? I mean, if we don't have any information, of course, I won't take, them as being cases that he committed or were charged with, because I don't have any.
Okay, Amir, what are you with us today?
Your Honor, no. We spoke after. In fact, some of them we were going through the list.
Okay.
No specifics, Your Honor.
All right, let me see you, Mr. Sandoval, in the state in a breakout room.
Thank you.
Sure, I'll send you all to number 1. So whichever family violence prosecutor is available. And Rebecca, if you want to join us in 1, please. All right, to the courtroom, could I have Mr. Pouch come forward, please?
Video, please.
And who was the prosecutor on this? I believe was it Joe Ray who was doing this?
It was me, yeah.
David? Okay, let me find Frankie Sandoval. There you are. All right, we're going to go back on the record in this call, State of Texas versus Aaron Pouch in 2020 CR 0160. Could I have parties announced, please? State,
David Martin.
defense. He's frozen. Okay, Frankie, you're on mute.
Well, that's good, Your Honor, because I said good morning. I meant to say good afternoon. Good afternoon, Judge Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Pouch.
All right, thank you. All right, so the court went into the breakout room with both attorneys for the state and defense, and also with probation. The court's concerns are the offenses that are out of New Orleans that are listed. It says information pending. I'm going to allow for the state and the defense to have a reset so that I can have more information, Mr. Pouch, in order to make a informed decision on your application. So we're going to come back on August 31st. I've been informed by probation that should be enough time so they can figure out about the other cases. So you'll be back in court on August 31st at 9 a.m., Mr. Pouch. Do you understand? Oh, for some, yeah, okay, thank you. All right, don't leave the courtroom, Mr. Pouch, until they give you a reset form.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone, if there's nothing else, we will close the record on this matter.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. And you notice Mr. Sandoval has an Emmy in the back on his shelf. All right, is anyone else ready? Do we have the interpreter for Raphael Liel?
Are you ready for him, Judge? So I can go ahead and call him up?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay.
And when was this amended motion to proceed ex parte file? Does anyone know?
July 23rd, Judge.
Okay, because the one that I had was the same one that was talking about murder in cell phones. So this is the new one.
Correct, Judge. And I apologize for the other one.
All right, no problem, because I withdraw. I mean, you withdrawn the motion 2 times, and I just want to make sure that this is the correct one.
And this is ex parte, Judge.
Yes, it is. So we'll go into a breakout room. And I'll just note that the previous motions that were filed, the actual motion, Mr. Leal, where it says motion to proceed, it doesn't say sealed on it. So if it doesn't say sealed in the body of the motion, then it's not sealed. And so that is why previously it wasn't ex parte. So you filed a motion to proceed ex parte and motion for appointment of expert assistants, but in that, just for next time, so you know, and this is what I was told as a defense attorney as well, the rules had changed. And when you say motion, you need to say motion to proceed ex parte and motion to seal, because otherwise it won't be sealed. So even though you filed these motions, those two were not sealed. Now, I will say that you did amend your motion and you added motion to seal. So we'll go into a breakout room, but for some reason, this isn't stamped. It isn't file stamped. Could I see one of the clerks? Yes, Mr. Leo.
I can send you the stamp motion if you wish.
All right, the clerk should have that. To the clerks, could I get the stamped motion that was filed by Mr. Leal? He said he filed it July 25th.
23rd, Judge.
Sorry, July 23rd.
23rd. Okay, let me look for Judge.
All right, thank you. I have a motion, but it hasn't been file stamped.
Okay, if anything, I can just go and stamp that one with the 23rd.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
You were cutting it close, Mr. Leal, filing it on a Friday.
I realize my mistake, Judge, and I thank you for pointing them out. And and I did it as fast as I could, and that's the reason that it's not stamped, because I did it on the July 23rd and sent Ms. Ferguson that motion as soon as
Okay. All right, that explains it. We're going to get it. Just give me a second, okay?
all right.
Judge or Norma, or either of y'all there?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, what did you need, Hunter?
We did a plea earlier for a Roger Villarreal.
Yes.
There was a case I saw that reflected awaiting filing. It's actually been filed. Probation brought to my attention there's a warrant on it. I spoke to the attorney, and he's going to see if he and his client can get back on. And we'll be looking to reform the judgment in our case to include a complainant from another case.
Okay.
Just giving you a heads up in case the clerk still had that file readily available. I don't know if he'll make it this afternoon, but this afternoon or tomorrow probably.
All right. Thank you.
Hmm?
Mr. Villarreal? I'm sorry,
He's
Mr.
not-
Leal. I'm sorry. Mr. Yeah. Raphael Leal.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to file this. Okay, I'm going to sign this motion for you. And this is the amount, and that is the amount. So that's what he will have. That is all.
May I have a copy of that, Your Honor, before it's sealed?
Yes, if you talk to the clerks, I'm sure they'll send a copy to you, or you can come by and pick up a copy.
All right, I'll give them a call, Judge, and see if they can.
All right, do you need to speak to your client before we send him back?
Yeah, that would be appropriate, I believe.
All right, and Mr. Leal, your jury trial date on this case is October 15th.
Oh, Judge, thank you for
Yes.
reminding me of that. I just been informed, in fact, yesterday, that a capital murder trial that I have pending is set for October the 12th. It's probably going to last about 2 weeks.
All right, let's see if that happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I let you know.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
I'll send your client to number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Bobby Gebbia, you said you need to be in a breakout room with Mr. Brewer.
I think he's already there, Judge.
All right, thank you. And Norma, you can counsel immigration, I'm sorry, the interpreter.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think Bobby Gebbia's client may be our last thing on the docket. Oh, no, and we also have David Coyer's client. And everyone, I'll be here. I'm just going to sign some document.
I mean, like, you could ask Abel, or I'm not, whoops.
David, do you want to go back in a breakout room?
Yes, please. Let's go. Chat a little. Thank you.
David Cuellar, can you let them know 11:13 can go back? Mr. Vela, we're going to send you back. All right.
Okay,
All right. You understand that you're going to go back, okay?
okay. Yeah,
All right.
thank
Do you have any questions about anything?
No, thank you. That's good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one. Next time we'll have the interpreter here for you, okay?
Okay, thanks. Have a nice day. Bye.
All right. You have a good day too. All right. David Cuellar,
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
Your
Judge.
Honor.
What was his seat number, Judge?
L13.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Cuellar.
Yes, Your Honor. I think we have a tentative agreement, and I think the state might be able to, I don't want to say something out of order, and they might be able to do a little better.
All right. Yes. What are we doing?
Yes, Judge, there's a repeated DPO that's a night mag, so we have an agreement for to get a waiver number and proceed on that one.
Okay. And has the clerks given you that number?
No, I haven't called yet.
All right.
I'll do
And
that.
the indicted case would get dismissed as part of that agreement, Judge. We just talked about it, so I don't know how long it's going to take to get all that wrapped up, but that's
Okay.
what's going on.
All right. Awesome. And Hunter, Meredith, and Marcus, could I see you all in breakout room number 3, please? I have paperwork on Brewer, so I'm signing that and sending that through. Yes, I will. For some reason, my system is working very slow. Brewers and number 5, so I'll see you there. Rebecca,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to send you what I signed through on Mr. Williams, but that probably needs to be redone because it's not the charge in the paragraph for the motion to revoke.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So if that can be corrected, but it just won't let me send it back. All right, thank you. All right, are the parties ready on James Brewer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge,
Who's the prosecutor on this case?
I am Judge.
My computer is doing some crazy things today, people. And Brenda, and it's supposed to be a Tuesday. It just removed everybody just then. All right. The court is calling 2020 CR 0778, State of Texas versus James Brewer. I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
for the defense.
Robert Gebbia for the defense.
And are you James Brewer?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brewer, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Brewer, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
State waives count 2, as well as the habitual offender enhancement allegation paragraph.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Brewer, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with in count 1 is theft of a vehicle, $30,000 to $150,000? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Your Honor, we have discussed our defenses.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Brewer, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than a plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Oh, yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 1 only. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. They're opposed to your application for community supervision and state, I'm assuming, but I should never assume anything. Are you opposed to his application for deferred as well?
Yes, Your Honor. I did not realize he was also applying for that, but yes.
All right. Any objections to the court making a correction to the plea bargaining agreement to include that the state is opposed to community supervision as well as the application for deferred adjudication?
None from the state, Judge.
Defense, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the state is opposed to your application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to Enterprise Rent-A-Car, EAN Holdings LLC. Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargaining agreement, Mr. Brewer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargaining agreement?
Yes.
Yes, it is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged in count one, Mr. Brewer. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Brewer, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes.
understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding you guilty as you apply for deferred adjudication. We will be bringing this back for sentencing, Mr. Brewer. Mr. Gebbia, will there need to be a TAP evaluation or no?
I'm not opposed to a TAP evaluation, Judge.
All right, Norma, when can we come back on Mr. Brewer?
Judge, let me look at the calendar real quick, Judge.
All right, thank you.
We can come back on the 27th, Judge, of September.
All right, we'll see you back on September 27th. Mr. Brewer, are you at the courthouse or are you at somewhere else? Where are you?
I'm in my house.
Okay, all right. On September 27th, Mr. Brewer, you need to be in the 187th District Court at 9 a.m. We're located at 300 De La Rosa, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So what date do you need to be in court?
The 27th of September,
What time?
9 o'clock.
Okay, and what I'm going to do now, we're going to close the record. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. Probation will tell you everything that you need to do. It's very important that you meet all of your appointments with probation. I will base my decision on your application based upon the report I received from probation and any other evidence that's presented to me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
And Mr. Gebbia, you can go to number 1 or either you can be excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, David Cuellar, what are we doing with your client?
I believe we're preparing paperwork at this time, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
And I'm doing it, Judge. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
I'm creating the information and JD kept going white and logging me out. So it's working now. I don't know why it's acting up.
Hey, it happens.
Your Honor,
Yes.
while we're waiting for all the paperwork, do you think I could talk to my client? He's right there, Mr. Viesca.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll send him to breakout room number 3. And I'll send you to 3, Mr. Cuellar.
Thank you.
Hello? Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Rebecca, can I go into a breakout room with you real quick? I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am. One?
Meredith, did you want me to put April Sanchez for tomorrow?
Wait, what are we talking about? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, it's from Judge. I'm sorry. I guess it was for April Sanchez. I'll talk to Judge. On April Sanchez, do you want me to bring her over tomorrow? I guess,
I got more information on that.
okay, so I'll bring her, I guess I'll bring her on Zoom tomorrow.
Sure, yeah, I mean, it'll probably force the issue. It's just been challenging getting people to respond and get the information we need.
Okay.
But that's fine, sure.
David, have you all finished all your paperwork?
We're all done, Your Honor. We sent everything back.
All right, to the clerks, could you go to breakout room number 3 and swear Mr. Viska in?
Yes, Judge.
All right, are we ready? I believe we are. Okay. Who's the
That's
prosecutor?
ready.
In just one moment. Brenda, you ran fast from back here. All right, how do you pronounce your client's last name?
It's pronounced Viesca.
All right, is that how you pronounce your name, Mr. Viesca?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Court is calling 2021 CR 6682W, State of Texas versus Jose Viesca. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
David Cuellar.
And are you Mr. Viesca?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Viesca, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Viesca, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes.
Next, I'm going to show you the document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury review the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to hold you over for trial and indict this case?
Yes.
Did you understand that your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information prepared for trial? Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Correct. Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Next, I'm going to show you the document entitled Information. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Next, Mr. Viesca, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes.
understand it? Did you
Yes.
electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is repeated violation of court order or bond conditions, family violence? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Viesca, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, probated. State recommends community supervision. The state will take in consideration the following cause numbers: 2021 CR 6030, County Court cause numbers 655301, 658376, and there should be no contact with Jeanette, GEANETTE Garcia. Did you understand that to be your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, a drug treatment program, or follow recommendations of the TAP evaluation. Do you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense is charging the information. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State's offer State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Vieska, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept this evidence, states Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anything you want to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, he does have children with the complainant in a couple of these cases, but he's ready to follow the no contact order. She did lose her children, and so they're in state custody, so he has no reason to have any contact at all with her. And that's what he plans. He plans to start working very hard. He's a carpenter and does contracting, and I think there's a lot of work for that right now. That's what he plans to do. He plans to keep clean, work very hard, and do everything he's supposed to do on probation. And if the court would grant him probation, he promises to abide by all the conditions, Your Honor.
All right, so has his parental rights been terminated as well?
That I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Mr. Vieska,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have children with Jeanette Garcia or children by someone else?
Got with Janet Garcia and my first wife.
And so how many children do you have?
I got 5 beautiful boys.
What are their ages?
The oldest is 25, 15. And then with Janet Garcia, they're 7, 6, and 4 years old.
Okay, so where are these children?
The one with Janet Garcia, they're with state, CPS, they're in state custody.
All right, so have your parental rights been terminated? Like
Not
has
really.
the state taken your children and said, we are placing your children with another adult and you will no longer have rights to them?
Correct, yes,
So that's what has happened?
yes,
So that means that your rights are terminated.
yes.
So do you know where the children are?
Not at the moment. I know they were with foster care.
Well, I mean, are they with relatives or no?
No,
All right. And so, and then your other children with the other woman, where are they? Are they with her?
They're with her.
All right. So how often have you been using drugs?
I haven't been using drugs. It's just that one day,
No, let me just tell you, people do not use meth just one day.
yes,
So how often do you use drugs?
I could say like once, twice a week. But I've been clean.
Because you've been at the Bexar County Jail.
Yes.
So before you got to the Bexar County Jail, and I'm asking you these questions because Mr. Viesca, this is what I know.
Yes.
I know that people, when they go to the Bexar County Jail, nobody wants to stay at the Bexar County Jail. You don't get to just walk to a refrigerator and grab what you want. They don't have bathtubs there. So if you like taking a bubble bath, you can't take it. You don't get to do your laundry whenever you want to do it. You don't get to go outside and maybe work in the garden or whatever. So I know people don't like being at the Bexar County Jail.
Correct.
But these questions I'm asking you is hopefully to keep you from going back to the Bexar County Jail.
Yes, ma'am.
I could just send you out into the world with no help whatsoever for your drug problem. But if I did that, you'd be back at the Bexar County Jail probably, I'd say like maybe in 2 weeks. And that's because you would end up testing positive. So I'm trying to figure out what your drug of choice is, how often you use your drug of choice so that we can get you some help.
Yes.
Now, you've already gone past rock bottom. Me personally, I would think that having your parental rights terminated and not being in the lives, as you say, of your beautiful boys, because let's be honest, if you've been doing drugs, and I read the report where she was living in a shed, if you've been doing drugs and living in a shed, and your parental rights have been terminated, if that's not enough to make you go stone cold sober, then we're gonna have to do something else.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start over. I'm gonna pretend like none of the answers you've given me have happened. So we're gonna start over, clean slate. And I want you to be honest with me.
Yes.
So what is your drug of choice?
I was using meth
How often were you using meth?
daily.
Mhm. And were you using with Miss Garcia?
No.
So you're telling me she doesn't use meth?
Well, she does use meth. I know that.
All righty. So she's a meth user too.
Correct.
So when is the last time you had a full-time job?
Right before I came in Bexar County, like 2 months ago.
How far did you go in school?
I got my diploma, and then I did a trade school here in town for HVAC.
All right. And what caused you to start using meth?
Not really sure. I guess it was a new drug coming in, and I wanted to try it, and just.
Brenda, why is it people will try a new drug, but if you ask them to try escargot or say, hey, I want you to try some broccoli, people are like, Brussels sprouts don't look good, but let me try a drug that somebody who knows what kind of chemists they are, somebody's making it up in a dirty, abandoned shed. Let me try that. Yep, that spoon looks dirty, but let me try that. I don't know why people do this.
Yes.
And see, the problem you have is you have children that you are not supporting, right?
Correct.
Somebody else is not supporting your children. Somebody else is not going to be raising your children because you decided you wanted to do something crazy like try meth?
No.
So when's the last time you had contact with Miss Jeanette Garcia?
That night before, that night I got locked up. That was
Have
2
you
months
called her
ago.
from the jail?
No,
And
ma'am.
that's easy to check. Have you been
Right.
writing letters to her from the jail?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you can't have any more contact with her.
Correct.
And what's happening between you guys is you feed off each other. She uses meth, you use meth. You know, you're just two people who are using meth getting together, right?
Correct.
The relationship you have with her is not a positive relationship. It's not a good relationship.
Correct.
Because if it were, we wouldn't be here for a repeated violation of court order or bond condition.
Correct.
You need inpatient treatment, Mr. Viesca. I'm going to send you to inpatient treatment. That's what you need. Because
Okay.
the reason why you're not using drugs right now is because you're at the Bexar County Jail.
Correct.
And if I were to release you, you probably look for your next fix. You wouldn't intend to,
No.
but that's what ends up happening. Do you know the guy, Stephen Tyler from Aerosmith?
Yes.
There was a documentary on Stephen Tyler from Aerosmith. He was a heavy drug user. And he said, I've been clean and sober for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, and I think he said maybe he was 10 years into his sobriety. He said he was watching a news show and they had come on and said that somebody had died from a heroin overdose. He said the first thought that came to his mind wasn't, oh my gosh, that's a shame. His first thought that came to his mind was, man, that was probably some good heroin. So you got to change your thinking habits, and your brain operates differently when you're addicted. So we're going to have to stop that from happening with you. So I'm going to send you to ISF because I think, Rebecca, will ISF take him with family violence history?
I'm not sure, Judge. I'm gonna double check on that.
All right, we're going to see if you can get to ISF. And then after ISF, David, I'm going to see if felony drug court is available for him. And Mr. Viesca, felony drug court is a great program. They look at you on a case-by-case basis. There are some cases that they're unable to take you, but they'll consider you on a case-by-case basis, okay? So we'll do the no contact with Jeanette Garcia. I'm going to do 120 hours of community service restitution. I won't allow that to be waived at all because when you have substance abuse issues, you need to stay busy so you don't think about drugs.
Yes.
So there's going to be 120 hours community service restitution. I'm going to do ISF dual track. And felony drug court, whichever one is available first for him, that's the one I want him in. You're going to remain in custody until transfer to ISF or felony drug court. And when you talk to felony drug court, Mr. Viesca, don't do them the way you did me, where you're like, I only used meth once. You need to be open and honest with them, because if you're not open and honest with them, you're going to get sitting back here. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to fail. Okay?
Okay.
And I don't want that to happen.
Thank you.
We're going to do a regular Zoom reporting or in person once he's released. I'm going to want field visits upon release, random, 3 times per month. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. The UA hotline. And are you planning on having any more children?
No, ma'am.
People say that, but then they end up having children. So Well, Brenda, I would really go into the conversations about biology, but I guess that would be inappropriate for criminal court. But sometimes you got to try to, it takes a village. You got to try to make everything work together. Here's the thing, Mr. Viesca, I can't stop you from having children, can't do
Right.
anything. But what I can tell you is you probably shouldn't have any more children until you get you together.
Yes, ma'am.
You shouldn't be in a relationship until you get you together.
Yes, ma'am.
And Brenna, what do I tell people? If you want to be in the relationship to know if you're ready for one, you know what you need to do, Mr. Viesca? Buy an orchid. When you get an orchid from the store, the blooms are already on it. It looks great. You think you're going to do great with it. And then once the blooms fall off, you're like, what's wrong? It's not blooming. I have an orchid in my office right now. There's not a single flower on it. But the reason why I tell people to get an orchid before they get in a relationship, it requires patience. It requires nurturing. You may get angry because the roses are not blooming. But if you take time and patience with it, it will help you to be patient in your life.
Thank you.
Because bad things happen in life, but you got to be patient.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, Judge.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also because there's family violence involved, you're not allowed to own any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Viesca. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. David Quare, you're invited to go to the breakout room with him, or you can be excused. I'll send you out of breakout room number 2.
Yes, ma'am.
And everyone, with that, I'm going to stop live stream, but Rebecca, I'm not going to forget that you're in a breakout room and shut us down.
Yeah, don't shut us down, please.
So I'm going to stop live stream, and hopefully everyone had